What if true power isn't loud? What if it doesn't seek a throne or demand the spotlight? What if the most formidable man in any room is the one you barely noticed, the one operating on a frequency others can't tune into? This is the silent strength that ripples beneath the surface of the world, an energy that unnerves the common man not through aggression, but through sheer, unshakable authenticity. Welcome to the Sigma male community, the sanctuary for men who walk their own path, build their own reality, and answer to nothing but the code written into their own soul. Today we are not just observing, we are dissecting the very essence of Sigma presence. We will explore the 11 foundational habits that make the Sigma male a figure of quiet intimidation, a man whose very existence challenges the fragile structures upon which others build their identity. This is not about learning tricks to scare people. It is about understanding the natural consequences of forging a sovereign mind in a world that demands conformity. 1. The unmoved mountain, indifference to status. The modern world is a frantic, desperate climb up a ladder that ultimately leads nowhere. Men invest their entire lives in the pursuit of hollow titles, corner offices, and the fleeting approval of their supposed superiors. The Sigma male observes this frantic scramble not with contempt, but with a profound and unsettling indifference. He understands that a man's worth is not determined by his position in an artificial hierarchy, but by the content of his character and the mastery of his craft. He interacts with the world on a purely human level, affording the same baseline of respect to the janitor and the CEO, measuring them not by their status but by their integrity. This unwavering refusal to engage in the sycophantic games of social and corporate climbing is not a sign of ignorance. It is the ultimate rejection of a rigged system. This stoic indifference becomes a source of deep intimidation for those whose entire sense of self is tethered to their rank and the validation it provides. When the Sigma fails to be impressed by a title or intimidated by authority, he holds up a mirror to the status seeker, silently revealing the insecurity that fuels their ambition. His focus on tangible skills and internal principles over external accolades makes him an immovable object in a world of shifting social winds. His genuine autonomy is a quiet, powerful rebuke to the entire fragile ecosystem of ego and pecking orders, exposing it for the theatrical performance it truly is. Those who rely on the ladder for their footing feel the ground crumble beneath them in his presence. 2. Precognitive calm, predictive accuracy. To the uninitiated, the Sigma male's ability to anticipate events can seem almost supernatural, as if he is seeing the future. In reality, it is a far more grounded and potent skill, the result of hyperobservation and a deep understanding of systems. While others are caught in the emotional whirlwind of the immediate moment, reacting to chaos as it unfolds, the Sigma is a detached analyst. He watches the subtle currents that others miss, the slight hesitation in a voice, the unspoken agenda in a meeting, the logical conclusion of a flawed plan. He doesn't just see individual actions, he perceives the entire chessboard, synthesizing patterns of human behavior and logical consequence to forecast outcomes with unnerving precision. This predictive accuracy is never flaunted. It is simply a part of his operational toolkit. He may quietly sidestep a project destined to fail or make a move that seems counterintuitive at the moment, only for its genius to be revealed weeks later. This creates an aura of unshakable certainty and foresight that is profoundly disconcerting to those around him. Men who operate on impulse, guesswork, and emotional reactions feel perpetually one step behind, their own judgment seeming clumsy and exposed in the light of his quiet competence. His calm is not passivity, it is the supreme confidence of a man who has already played the game out in his mind and knows the inevitable result. 3. The precision scalpel, direct communication. Our society has become a sanctuary for the vague, the non-committal, and the emotionally dishonest. Communication is padded with platitudes, softened with insincerities, and designed to avoid the discomfort of raw truth. The Sigma male rejects this inefficiency entirely. He wields his words like a surgeon's scalpel, cutting directly to the heart of the matter with a precision that is both admirable and terrifying. His communication is stripped of emotional fluff and manipulative undertones, leaving only the clarity of his thoughts. This isn't born from a desire to be cruel, it stems from a profound respect for truth, time, and the intelligence of the person he is addressing. For those accustomed to hiding behind layers of ambiguity and plausible deniability, this level of directness is a frontal assault. It dismantles their carefully constructed facades and leaves them with no room to maneuver or deflect. When a Sigma speaks, he creates an environment where only honesty is possible, a space where social games and passive aggression cannot survive. This forces others to either meet him on that level of radical candor or retreat in discomfort. The intimidation comes from the realization that with him, the truth is not a negotiable commodity, it is the only currency he accepts, and many find themselves bankrupt in his presence. 4. The fortress of self, inability to be controlled. The average person is a vessel for external influence, swayed by peer pressure, manipulated by emotional appeals, and guided by the carrot and stick of social approval and disapproval. Attempts to apply these same levers of control to a Sigma male are utterly futile. They glance off him as if hitting an invisible fortress wall. His internal compass, forged in the fires of self-reflection and governed by his own rational principles, is his one and only sovereign. He does not require your validation to feel worthy, your permission to act, or your approval to be certain. His actions are born from his own judgment, and he stands by them, unbowed by the winds of popular opinion. This radical, ironclad independence is perhaps his most intimidating trait because it nullifies the primary tool others use to influence the world. A man who cannot be bribed with praise, threatened with ostracism, or swayed by emotional blackmail is a man who cannot be controlled. This creates a terrifying void of leverage for manipulators, narcissists, and social puppeteers. They look at the Sigma and see an unsolvable problem, a free man. His inability to be herded or steered is a constant, unnerving reminder of their own dependence on the system of control he so effortlessly ignores. 5. The silent thunder, speaking less, impacting more. In a world saturated with noise, where people clamor for attention and fill every available space with meaningless chatter, the Sigma's deliberate silence is a statement of power. He is the observer in the room, the processor, the analyst who understands that the most valuable information is gathered not while speaking but while listening. He absorbs the dynamics, weighs the arguments, and formulates his position with careful, unhurried thought. This makes him a black hole for the verbal excess of others. They pour their words into the void of his calm attention, often revealing more than they intend. When he finally chooses to speak, his words land with the force of thunder. Because he has filtered out all the rambling, repetition, and hesitation, what emerges is pure, concentrated insight. His contributions are weighted, deliberate, and often shift the entire perspective of the conversation. There is no wasted energy, no verbal peacocking. The stark contrast between his prolonged, observant silence and the immense impact of his concise speech creates an aura of profound, unspoken authority. Other men, who rely on volume and verbosity to feel important, are suddenly made aware of how frivolous and empty their own words sound in comparison. Think you're just watching this, passively absorbing insights? Look closer. That flicker of recognition, that deep resonance you feel when we speak of the fortress of self or the precision of truth, it's not an accident. The true Sigma doesn't seek this label. He doesn't need a community to tell him who he is, because he embodies these traits unconsciously. If these habits feel less like a foreign analysis and more like a reflection of your own intrinsic nature, that is the only signal that matters. You aren't just learning about the Sigma path, you are recognizing the code that has been operating within you all along. Forge ahead, for your journey is one of refinement, not of discovery. But for those of you who feel the sting of this intimidation when you encounter such a man, do not mistake it for malice. Understand its source is not arrogance, but the raw, unfiltered power of unapologetic authenticity. It is not a judgment upon you, but a call to begin the work of building your own internal strength. 6. The unfazed observer, emotional detachment. Life for most is a violent roller coaster of emotional highs and lows, a desperate ride fueled by the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. They are swept up in collective outrage, swayed by flattery, and crippled by criticism. The Sigma male stands apart from this emotional chaos, not as an unfeeling machine, but as a detached, rational observer. He experiences the full spectrum of human emotion, but he is not a slave to it. He views his own feelings and the feelings of others as data points to be analyzed, not as commands to be obeyed. This stoic practice of maintaining a buffer between stimulus and response is his shield against the irrationality that plagues the world. This unshakable emotional composure is intensely intimidating to those who rely on emotional reactions to navigate their social world. The manipulator finds his bait is not taken. The drama queen finds she has no audience for her hysterics. The sycophant finds his flattery lands on barren ground. The Sigma's calm, level gaze in the face of an emotional storm communicates a powerful message. Your chaos has no power here. This emotional self-mastery makes him seem impenetrable and unpredictable, a rock against which the turbulent waves of others' passions break and dissipate. 7. The depth charge, intellectual intensity. Most conversations operate in the shallow end of the pool, revolving around trivialities, gossip, and rote, surface-level opinions. The Sigma male has no time for this. His intellect is a depth charge, designed to plunge straight to the core of any subject. He craves a genuine understanding of systems, first principles, and the deep-seated motivations that drive human action. Small talk is an agonizing waste of cognitive energy for him. He will bypass it with unnerving speed, asking the kinds of penetrating questions that unravel lazy assumptions and force a deeper level of thought from everyone involved. This is not a performance designed to show off his intelligence. It is simply his natural operating frequency. He connects disparate ideas, challenges conventional wisdom, and possesses a sharp, unconventional mental agility that seeks out complexity. For those who are content to paddle in the shallows of thought, engaging with a Sigma is like being pulled into the deep ocean. The sudden intellectual pressure is immense and disorienting. It exposes the superficiality of their own knowledge and creates a powerful, unspoken intimidation rooted in the vast difference between knowing facts and truly understanding. 8. The ruthless filter, selective engagement. Your time and your focus are the most sacred, non-renewable resources you possess. While most people squander these assets freely, giving them away to draining conversations, meaningless social obligations, and the endless stream of digital distractions, the Sigma male protects his with ruthless efficiency. He has an innate, almost brutally effective, internal filter for noise. He will walk away from a pointless argument, ignore a trivial drama, and disengage from an energy vampire without a shred of guilt, apology, or fear of missing out. His boundaries are not suggestions. They are electrified, fortified walls. Witnessing this level of supreme boundary enforcement is a jarring and intimidating experience for those who feel obligated to tolerate chaos and give their energy to anyone who asks for it. The Sigma's ability to effortlessly disengage from the very things that consume the lives of others highlights the prisons they have built for themselves. It's not rudeness, it is the ultimate act of self-respect and a testament to the clarity of his mission. His decisive filtering is a silent judgment on the distractions others not only tolerate but actively welcome into their lives, and that reflection is deeply uncomfortable. 9. The sovereign's resolve, ownership mentality. The language of the masses is filled with blame, excuses, and the abdication of personal responsibility. Problems are always someone else's fault, failures are the result of circumstance, and progress is stalled waiting for external permission or a perfect opportunity. The Sigma male lives in a different reality, one governed by the unwavering principle of total ownership. The concept of blame is foreign to his operating system. He is the sole author of his life script, and he takes radical accountability for his choices, his actions, and their every consequence, whether glorious victory or crushing defeat. This mindset is profoundly liberating for him, but it is terrifyingly confrontational for those who live in a culture of victimhood. When he fails, he does not complain. He analyzes the failure, extracts the lesson, and adapts his strategy. When he wants something, he does not wait for it to be given. He strategizes and executes. His unwavering self-reliance acts as a harsh mirror, reflecting the weakness of the excuses and deflections that others use as a crutch. His ownership mentality silently screams that you are the master of your fate, a truth that is intimidating to anyone not ready to bear that weight. 10. The lone wolf's comfort. Embracing obscurity. The modern ego is an insatiable beast that feeds on external validation, likes, shares, promotions, and public recognition. Many men are addicted to the spotlight, feeling invisible and worthless without an audience to affirm their existence. The Sigma male, however, finds immense power and strategic freedom in the shadows. He has no intrinsic need to be seen, recognized, or celebrated. He is perfectly content and often more effective, operating from the periphery, underestimated or entirely unknown. His confidence is generated internally, it is not a byproduct of applause. This genuine comfort with obscurity is utterly baffling and intimidating to the validation-addicted mind. How can a man be so confident without anyone cheering for him? How can he be so effective without seeking credit? The Sigma understands that the spotlight brings scrutiny and limitation, while obscurity provides the freedom to observe, to focus without interruption, and to act with the powerful element of surprise. His indifference to fame is the ultimate demonstration of a self-sufficient ego, a quiet confidence so complete that it needs no external proof to know its own power. 11. The unconventional strategist, Pathfinder instinct. Society provides maps for everything: career progression, social interaction, success. These maps are designed for safety, predictability, and conformity. The Sigma male looks at these maps and sees only the limitations, the inefficiencies, and the crowded, well-worn roads. He doesn't follow maps. He is a pathfinder who creates his own. He possesses a powerful, innate instinct for finding novel solutions, bypassing conventional obstacles, and navigating complex problems in ways that rule followers and traditionalists cannot begin to comprehend. He questions the premise of the way it's always been done, not out of a childish need for rebellion, but from a fundamental understanding that a better, more direct, or more elegant path almost always exists. This instinct to forge his own trail, often ignoring established hierarchies and procedures, makes him wildly unpredictable and impossible to categorize. For those who find comfort and security in structure, rules, and tradition, the Sigma's pathfinding nature feels like a chaotic and destabilizing force. It is an intimidating reminder that their entire rulebook is obsolete in the hands of a truly sovereign mind who is not just playing the game, but redesigning it as he goes. These habits are not a costume to be worn or a persona to be faked. They are the natural, inevitable consequences of a mind committed to self-mastery and unshackled from the expectations of the herd. The intimidation that others feel is simply their spirit's reaction to witnessing true freedom. It is the friction between the authentic man and the constructed world. Here at the Sigma male community, we don't just talk about these principles, we aim to live by them. This channel is not just a collection of videos, it is a forge for the sovereign mind, a digital stoa for the modern man who walks his own path. If what you've heard today resonates not as a lesson but as a remembrance of who you are, then you are in the right place. Your journey of refinement requires tools, reminders, and a connection to a silent legion of men on the same path. So take action now. Solidify your commitment. Like this video to signal your understanding. Share it with a brother who you know walks this path beside you. In the comments below, declare the one habit that resonates most deeply with your own internal code. And if you have not already, subscribe and activate the notification bell, not just to watch our next dispatch, but to arm yourself with the wisdom needed to navigate the world as a man of substance. This is your community. This is your forge. Stay sovereign. Stay silent. And stay true to the code within.